Let us start with normal distribution. So earlier we have covered on binomial and Poisson distribution. So binomial and Poisson distribution had been based upon approximation, right? So that is why we said we have some categorization of distribution where we have discrete probability distribution and continuous probability distribution. So under discrete probability distribution, which is based upon approximation, we have already covered binomial and Poisson distribution. Now in normal distribution, first of all, learn that this is a continuous probability distribution. And here the distribution would be normal as the name suggests, right? So in normal distribution, you will always find this curve. So you will have a curve like this, right, where you will have this mean, median and mode which intersect at the same point. So it was given by Abraham de Moivre, and we will learn about the properties, and then we will learn about what is going to be checked or what is going to be found into this using this normal distribution for our sampling, for our experimentation, etc. And then we will cover the concepts. Now it is a continuous probability distribution, as we said, where the first assumption says that P and Q are equal. Now, when we say P and Q, we have already learned this is probability of success and probability of failure. Now, this kind of normal distribution, first of all, is used to handle the large quantities, right? Where we have quantities, the magnitude of the quantities is very, very high, is continuously variable. So then we can use this normal distribution. So it basically deal with quantities whose magnitude is continuously variable, and the graphical distribution of this normal distribution will come as a bell shaped. We generally find this term, this is a bell shaped distribution, right, because it forms the shape of a bell when we try to design, when we try to formulate the graphical presentation of our distribution of our data set. Second main important property of this normal distribution is that we never know that when this P and Q, as we said, P and Q are equal. This is the assumption. But when the P and Q are going to be equal, we are not aware of that. So when P and Q becomes equal is unknown. And because this fact is unknown, that when P and Q is going to become equal, so that is why we say that this curve or the distribution under normal will never touch, or P and Q will never touch the x-axis, which means neither this is the shape of this curve also signifies that neither this is positively skewed and negatively skewed. In this type of curve, when we said P and Q becomes equal is unknown and they are never going to touch the x-axis, this kind of curve is known as asymptotic curve. So we call this curve under normal distribution as asymptotic curve, which means the curve is not going to touch the x-axis. So whatever curve you formulate in any distribution where it is not going to touch your x-axis, so that is known as a asymptotic curve. As we can see here in the diagram, this curve is not touching the x-axis, so this is a asymptotic curve, which also means that space at the end of this complete area under this curve would be less than 1 or slightly more than 0. Right? So the space would be less than 1 or slightly more than 0. So this is normal distribution characteristics around which we will learn this complete distribution and see what we are going to find out. Now let us first see the types of curve here under normal distribution. You should be aware of these three curves. We have a mesokurtic curve. This curve, based upon the shape of this normal distribution curve, we have three categorization, which is mesocurtive curve, then we have this leptocurtic curve, and the third is platycurtic curve, because it gives a shape of a plate which is upside down on a table, and it will be like platycurtic curve. So these are three types of curves we have in normal distribution, right? So mesocurtic, leptocurtic, and platycurtic, based upon the shape of these three. These are three normal distribution curves only, but the shape differs, and that's why we have the categorization under these three types, right? And for applications which are based upon normal distribution, now as we said, what we are going to do with this, so whatever applications we have which are based upon the normal distribution, what we need to calculate is, we need to calculate the area under the curve. Area under the curve. So whatever area you can see which is under this curve, we have to calculate this area. We have to find out the probabilities, calculate it, and accordingly we can decide what is going to happen or what is the final outcome from this distribution when we assume this distribution for our sample data sets, for our experiments, for different validations. So based upon this distribution, based upon the properties of this distribution, now we can decide, we can give the probability of happening of any event, or we have to find out the area, and then we can exactly find out, maybe we have to find out in this curve for some applications like this, we have this curve, maybe we have to find out, depending upon the application, the area towards the positive axis of this curve, maybe we have to find out the area towards the negative axis of this curve, maybe we have to find out some portion, like maybe in between these two positive and negative ordinates of this normal distribution, right? So we have to find out this area. So it depends upon the type of problem we are going to get. So accordingly we are going to calculate this area under the curve, which is going to tell you the probability of happening of something, or you can calculate it, right? And these dotted lines, these are all ordinates, what we call them as ordinates, right? So we'll learn with time. Now let us know that in normal distribution, can you say mean, median, mode, all are going to intersect at the same point, intersect at the same point. So this is only true for normal distribution, not for binomial as well as Poisson distribution, where we have different type of curves, either it is positively skewed or negatively skewed, depending again upon the value of your p is less than 0 or greater than 0, right? So depending upon that we can say that, but in normal distribution, your mean, median, mode, they are going to intersect at the same point. As we can see, the center point here is the mean, it is also the median, and it is also the mode of this curve. It is going to intersect at this common point. Now as I said, we have the ordinates here. So when we say, again let us draw this distribution and try to understand. So as I said, these are all ordinates under this normal curve. Now when we say area under the curve, because as we said, we have to calculate the area for any kind of application which is based upon this normal distribution. So how we are going to get this area? So this area under the curve is going to get with the help of summation of these ordinates. So what we can do, we can summate all these ordinates and see what is this area, right? So these are all ordinates, points of ordinates under this curve. So the summation is going to give you the complete area under this curve. And this area is represented by Z in literature, which is standardized as, you can write down the equation for this, which is standardized as Z equal to x minus x bar divided by sigma. So this is the important formula, and based upon this formula only we are going to work out for the complete normal distribution problems. In literature you will also find that this is known as standard normal variate. Standard normal variate. So let us first learn more about this curve and see what is existing for this normal curve. For these coordinates, what are the calculated areas, right, which exist in literature. So you will have your mean, median, mode here. So we have these three ordinates. These will be falling equal on both sides. Maybe here we can see some difference, but on both the side these points will be equal at the angles, right? Whatever angle is going to be formulated. So here we will learn that this is my x bar, right? This is my mean in normal distribution. Now this is 0, and here we have on the positive axis, x-axis, we will have ordinates +1, +2 and +3. Similarly, on the left hand side of this, we will have the negative ordinates -1, -2, -3. Although the area coverage on both the sides will be equal, like for -1 to +1, 0 to +1 and 0 to -1, the area coverage would be same on both the sides. So if it is 0 here, because probability is always 1, so we have 0.5 here and 0.5 here. And when we summate this area, so this is 0, here the left side is 0.5, the complete area under the curve on the right hand side is also 0.5, and when we summate all the ordinates, it is going to give us probability total area, right? In terms of normal distribution, what we call this as total area, which is going to be 1. And the experimented and calculated values of the in percentage form for these ordinates should also be aware. So write down these values. X bar ±1 is 68.27. These are standard values. This is the standard coverage, right? So what we mean to say, we have this X bar +1 and -1. So this complete area coverage under this normal distribution curve is 68.27%. And if we see on either side, it will be 34.135%. Similarly, we have for ordinate 2. So what it means, it is the variance, right? So you can see the standard deviation of this mean. So we are actually telling this ±1, right? So from 0 to -1 or 0 to +1 or 0 to +2 or 0 to +3 and -2 and -3. So these are the standard deviation from this mean. So as soon as you have a deviation, standard deviation from your mean deviation in normal distribution, so the coverage under that area, right, under the curve, the coverage of the area will be different. So similarly for x bar ±2, it is 95.45%. And if we see again on either side, so as I said, so this is the total area, this one. And if we divide this on either side, this will be 47.725. Similarly, the ordinates, this mean deviation, the standard deviation from the mean deviation on third ordinate, that is x bar plus minus 3, will be 99.73. And if we see on either side, this area will be 49.865. So as you can see here, we have 49.865 because the curve never touched the x-axis. So you have to keep this in mind. On normal distribution, this curve is not going to touch the x-axis, and that is why we are not aware what would be the value of when this value of p and q will become equal. So total area, when we have seen the standard deviation from the mean deviation on three ordinates, which is plus 1, minus 1, plus 2, minus 2, and plus 3, minus 3. So the total area under this curve will be equal to 1, which means 0.5 on either side. Right, so this is the normal distribution. First we will take one example and then we will see what are the properties of this normal distribution which we have to follow. So these are all characteristics which we have seen, and based upon these characteristics, we said, first of all, remember that normal distribution is continuous probability distribution. Its assumption is p and q becomes equal, but when they become equal is unknown. That is why they never touch the x-axis, which is very important, and that is why the curve is known as asymptotic curve, right? And space is less than 1 or slightly more than 0 in this normal distribution, right? And this distribution, as we can see from this shape, it is neither positively skewed nor negatively skewed. And based upon the ordinates distribution, we have these three types, right? Mesocurtic, leptocurtic, and platycurtic curve. These are three different shapes under this normal distribution. Applications based upon this have to calculate the area under this curve, right? So we are now to calculate area, which is standard normal variate given by x minus x bar upon sigma. So what is sigma here? In probability distribution, what is sigma? Standard statistics. Anyone can just tell me what is sigma?
Standard deviation.
Standard
Yes.
deviation, ma'am.
So from the standard deviation, we can also calculate the variance, right? Because standard deviation is under root of this variance. So whenever you are given standard deviation, if not given directly the variance, then you have to calculate the standard deviation. Sometimes variance is given, right? So that variance can be used to calculate the standard deviation, and then you can apply this formula of finding area under the curve. So let us take one example and then let us try to understand the complete application, or how we are going to apply this normal distribution for different kind of problems, right? So all of you do with me. In a regiment of 1000 persons or soldiers, assume mean height of soldiers to be 68.22. Maybe it could be percentage, or it could be when we are doing calculations, we'll just not use this percentage, with a variance of 10.8 inches. Now we have to calculate how many soldiers would you expect to have height over 6 feet. Now let us solve this using normal distribution. First of all, let us see what is given into this. Let's sort upon this variance first. So we have been given variance, which is either you can write like this, standard deviation square, or it is standard deviation root. So we have to find out, because this value is 10.8, let us calculate, because we have to have this standard deviation for area under the curve. So this is going to be 3.286, right? What is x bar? What is x bar? As we have already seen that x bar is the mean. So we can see here in the question, we have regiment of 1000, which means n is your 1000. Assume mean height of soldiers to be 68.22. So mean is 68.22 with a variance of 10.8 inches, from where we have calculated the standard deviation. How many soldiers would you expect to have height over 6 feet, right? So we have to, because when we have to find out the area, that is z, we have x minus x bar upon sigma. So we have x bar, we have sigma, we have x as well, because we have to find out the probability of the soldiers having height over 6 feet, right? So we have to find out this p of z, which is p of x. So here we have been given 6 feet. So here already we have seen that this standard deviation which we have calculated is in inches. So let's convert this as well. So x is 6 feet means 72 inches. Now let us put all these values in the formula and see. Z is 72. Now x is 72 minus the mean height, that is 68.22, divided by the standard deviation, that is 3.286. Now you will calculate this, and upon calculation you will have this value, which is equal to 1.15. Now let us understand through a diagram, because it is very important whenever you do normal distribution problems. Try to draw a diagram as well. Try to draw the curve so that you are well aware what exactly you are trying to do with this area, where you have to find out. So when I said we have this mean x bar, which is equal to 68.22, so you can also put all the values in your diagram and see the visualization of your problem, right? So mean is given x 68.22. Now what we have tried to find out the probability of, we have to actually find out the probability whom we expect to have height over 6 feet, but with this area under the curve we have tried to find out the probability with where we have the height which is 72 inches or 6 feet. So we have find out this to be 1.15, which means that we have this area to the right of the, because height can never be in a negative value, right? So we have this area from 0 to 1.15. So here somewhere we have 0, we have plus 1, plus 2, and at the end of this curve is plus 3, right? So somewhere here we can see we have this 1.15, right? And this 1.15 is what? 72, right? So 68.22 was the mean height, and up to this area we have calculated up to this 72 inches according to this. And now we have to find out to have the height of soldiers over 6 feet, which means that which area we have to calculate now. So first of all, we will see this area under the curve. What is the value for this area? 0 to 1.15. And then actually we have to find out the area on the right side of this 1.15. Right? So you have to find out the area to the right of Z. Area to the right of Z, which you have calculated as 1.15, which means you are going to get the area under the curve which will reflect height greater than 72 inches. So how you are going to calculate this? So you have this complete area from 0 to positive ordinates towards positive ordinates is 0.5, as we already said, and here we have 0.5 and the total area is 1. So from this to this, if we have total area 0.5 and if we subtract this area which we have calculated for 0 to 1.15 up to 72 inches, then we can actually get the value for the remaining area, right? Now how to look for this value is important, so you can go to the Z table. So anyone if can share the Z table from the classroom, I can tell you how. So we have to calculate the value for 1.15, right? So let us first see the value for 1. Can you see 1.0 here? Yeah. Can you see Z vertically and look for 1.0? All of you?
Yes, ma'am.
So yes, now you have 1.15. So first of all, 1.15 will be 1.10 plus 0 point whatever value you have to tell, 0.05, right? So first you will see 1.0, sorry, 1.1, because it is if you see the horizontal axis on the Z value, it is 0.00, 0.01. So for looking the value 1.15, look into that value, you have to come for 1.1 and then you are left with plus 0.05. This will give you 1.15, right? So what you have to do, so you have to, I think my pen is not working on the screen. Okay, fine. So you have to look here for 1.1 vertically under Z value and then moving forward and going towards value that is 0.05. So can you intersect this value? Can you intersect this value? This value will be at 1.1 and 0.05, whatever is the intersecting value. So look for the vertical value 1.1 and then look for the horizontal value 0.05. So this value will be 0.3749.
37493.
Yeah, so this is the intersecting value. So this is how you have to look for the values under the normal distribution table. First page. So we have calculated this area under the curve using the distribution table, normal distribution table. We said that the area which was the value corresponding to this area from 0 to 1.15 is 0.374, right? Now from the visualization we were clear that we have to find out the area towards the right of this area with whatever we have find out. So we have to look for the value of height of soldiers who will have height over 6 feet. Over means more than 72 inches, right? So when we subtract this area under the curve which we have calculated from 0.5, so we will get this value which is 0.1251. So if it was given in percentage initially, so we can say this is 0.1251, or we can say in a regiment of, because we have n as 1000, and if we multiply this, we'll get the actual number of soldiers. So we said in a regiment of 1000 soldiers, there are 125 soldiers who have height over 6 feet. So this is what we wanted to calculate it for the problem, and this is how we have to use the normal distribution. So as I earlier told you that it could be any area you would be asked to find out in the normal distribution depending upon the type of problem. So like we have to find out this area as we have done for this problem right now. So sometime we have to find out this area. We are given the standard deviation, we are also given the mean deviation, so then we can find out. So we can see how many like subjects they fall between some value here and between these two values under the curve or so, right? So we have to accordingly check for the problem and see what kind of area, which area we have to find out from this normal curve distribution. So
Ma'am,
yes.
like ma'am, there are predefined value of Z already, which are standardized. So, what are the unit of these areas actually we are calculating using the normal distribution?
No, this is like unit according to this problem is, as we said, we are going to calculate. So this is simply the area, right? Area under that curve. So this is based upon the ordinates division into that area, and it depend upon your problem into which units you are going to tell this. As we said, we have to calculate the number of soldiers here. So from this area, we are going to first identify and see and convert that into the like units like number or so, right? So there is no like specific unit as of, I should say that these ordinates. So you are talking about this plus 1 minus 1, right?
Yes, ma'am.
So this is the percentage of the area, actually it comes into percentage. So we said when we move or when we have this from mean deviation, when we have the standard deviation, when this ordinate, so you can see the point of inflection here actually. So what is this point of inflection where you have a change in this curve, right? When you have a deviation from mean towards your standard deviation, right? So this is your point of inflection. And when we see the area under this ordinate under the standard deviation from this mean deviation, so this is actually given in literature in the form of percentage only. So as such we have this percentage uh, division of this area, right? And the corresponding z tables will give you the area, right, under this. So because we are not actually looking for this plus, maybe we have some value 0.02 or we have value 1.12 or something like that. So exactly if we want to calculate upon the probabilities, then we have to convert, we have to see the value uh, conversion in terms of that z table. They are basically the experimented tables, right? So this could be value, this could be number, in that way. So when you will work out on more problems, you'll come to know about this. So from this complete normal distribution, let us just quickly see. We have the properties where we said we have distribution which is symmetrical in appearance. Then we said number of cases below mean is equal to number of cases above mean, right? So that is why we said mean and median, they will coincide. And mean and mode are also equal because the height of the curve is at its maximum at mean. So you have seen that when we have mean, the height is the maximum there at that point. So mean and mode are also equal. So number of cases below mean is number of cases above mean, which says that mean and median, they will coincide. And if we said mean and mode, they are equal because the height of the curve is at maximum at mean. And this model is known as unimodel. This curve is also known as unimodal curve. So in literature you may find this word, that is unimodal curve, which means mean and mode they are equal because the height of the curve is maximum at the mean. Similarly, we have said this curve will be asymptotic curve, right, which will never touch the x-axis. Another thing we said, we have a point of inflection where there is some curvature change, right? So as we said, we have this distribution, and whenever we have this curvature change, right, so that is point of inflection. So from here, from this point of ordinate, so coming to this +1 ordinate, right, from 0 to +1 ordinate, so this is a point of inflection, which means the point at which change in curvature takes place or occur. And this is plus minus, as we have learned, from mean to standard deviation, from mean deviation to standard deviation, right? Plus minus 1 you can say is the point of inflection under normal distribution. And the last property is mean deviation is more precisely 0.7979 of the standard deviation. This is also a calculated value. So this will be more clear when we will work upon the problems where we will have mean deviation and standard deviation which is given, and then we will see how this is going to work out. So maybe it is 4/5 or 3/4, I'm not sure. I'll just check it in the literature. So mean deviation is 0.7979 of the standard deviation. So if you are given mean deviation, you can calculate the standard deviation as well, which will be multiplied by this vector. So this is all about normal distribution, and then we will work upon some more problems tomorrow and see how we can calculate the different types of areas under this curve. So we have today discussed upon one side, and we have calculated some area on the positive axis of this normal distribution, and then we will look for some more problems. We will try to find out the different areas under the curve to understand more variety into the normal distribution problems. So that is all for today.